Hello everybody and welcome. Today's adventure is our first leg of a trip to Wyoming. Got some work to do up there and heading up there here in the Model Y. First stop, Mount Vernon, Illinois. We're going to be driving on interstates the whole way. We're going to supercharge on the way. It's 6:12 a.m. now and we're heading out. The car sits in the garage and the garage has a minimum temperature of 65 degrees. Looks like the battery's indicating a little low from looking at the dots there in the top left-hand corner. Typically, the batteries like to be warmer than 65. I think 75 or so is probably a really great temperature here for the battery here in the Model Y. And of course, a Scottish breakfast in the morning. Can't function without one of those. Just here on Interstate 26. Well, looks like we've got a fossil fuel vehicle on fire here. Really on fire. Oof. Just made it on to Interstate 40 westbound now. Sun's just coming up. Today's run today is about 600 miles. We have 3 charging stops. We're going to be stopping in Knoxville and Nashville and a place called Kuttawa, halfway up just past Kentucky, I should say this side of Illinois, at the northern part of Kentucky. And then we're going to spend the night in Mount Vernon, Illinois, and then head off in the morning. You know something? There has to be a law against this. Look at this. Really? It's the 21st century, buddy. It's a 2-lane divided highway here in the gorge, about 20 miles. And I usually run autopilot the whole way, so it works out pretty well. I usually run autopilot in the gorge. It's easy. You don't have to do much except put your hand on the wheel and watch what it's doing. It does very well in these super windy roads. If you'd like to see some videos about super windy roads and autopilot, check my last few videos. I've been back and forth here in between Pigeon Forge and my house in North Carolina, and I've taken this road. Getting a little foggy. 31 degrees outside. Yep, what do you have to do? ABC. Always be cleaning the window. We're out of the gorge now, west of the North Carolina border. And it says, 57 miles to the supercharger. Yeah, the weather is all over the place. Here on Interstate 40, speed limit's 77 on the meter, but GPS speed says 75, so about 2 miles an hour shown fast here. We found the traffic here in Knoxville, but I gotta say, this is one of the best things that autopilot can do, and that is stop and go traffic. This is our exit, Paper Mill Drive. Looks like we got a double lefty.
Now take exit 383 on the right. Now
All right.
the destination is on the right.
Okay, now we got to find the supercharger. I think it should be here soon, someplace. I bet it's in this parking lot here, maybe. There's a big transformer. It looks like there's a cabinet. Yeah, there they are. It's right here. Hey, look at that. What do we got? 6 stall, 8 stall? Looks like 8 stall. Looks like version 3. So that's cool. Well, maybe not. It says 1A, 1B, but they've been marking them. Okay, remember my video now. See, I got in kind of cockeyed, but it's okay. You put those little lines right where they're supposed to be. And lines us up perfectly. This place has a bumper. There we go. All right, let's get hooked up here. All right, 12%. We're at 95 kilowatts. Says we have 45 minutes to go, and our next charging stop will be Nashville, Tennessee. Version 3 is awesome. Shoot, you can watch the percentage just go. I love it. Well, I think I'm going to go see if I can find the facilities here. It's right in the middle of a industrial complex. I'm here at the version 3 here in Knoxville. They got a Marriott Courtyard. It looks like the place you use the restroom. There's not a lot of other stuff here. There's 5 Guys in the corner. You can get your nails done, sport haircuts, and a few things here. Parking lot, bistro, and some other things. Parking for the superchargers way here in the corner, and it's version 3 all the way. Here in Knoxville along Interstate 40 at the version 3 supercharger, and it has this awesome Marriott Courtyard, and inside is a coffee bar, and the facility is very nice. And so if you're traveling around, it would be a great place to stay and charge up here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Just back in the car, we're at 62 kilowatts here, got 46 kilowatt hours of energy, and we're showing 77%. The Tesla navigation is really good. I've used it all over the place, probably 80,000 miles. It's very accurate. The only thing it does not calculate is wind. So when I get up on Interstate 80 or 70 and I've got a 30 knot headwind, I need to let it charge a little bit more than what it says to offset that added headwind. Once you do that, it's very accurate in predicting your arrival. You can see our stops today, Nashville, Kuttawa, and then Mount Vernon, where we're spending the night. By the way, there is a supercharger in Mount Vernon right next to the hotel. Here's what you do. You let the car charge, and it tells you when it's time to continue the trip. This is important. You can try to ninja it and try to do your own calculations. That's fine. Go ahead. But I'm here to tell you, if you follow the car recommendation, you can't go wrong. It's generally very, very accurate. So it says 20 minutes remaining to continue trip. So we'll wait around the 20. And why does it say that? Let's look here. That says minus 6% upon arrival in Nashville. Obviously, if it's a minus number, there's no way that you're going to be able to even make it. You're going to show up to 6% less and not make the Nashville supercharger. So as the range increases, we're currently at 80%. This number continues to go down, and as you can see, it's now 5%. So it's going to probably go, from my experience, somewhere between 8 and 13% before it says we have enough to go. All right, so here we go. I want to show you guys something too. You see it says there's 11 minutes remaining. You notice that the charge limit I have set here is to 90%, and we're at 89%. I had this discussion with somebody. They said, no, it only charges up to the limit and doesn't charge any more, right? Okay, I'll give you that. But my experience is the supercharger will charge past your set limit depending upon if it needs more charge to get to the next location. So we're at 10 minutes remaining. We're at 89%. I expect this to roll over here to 90% any minute. There it is. Now, technically it should stop, right? But it does not work that way. The guys in the supercharger team are way smarter than that. Just because you set it for 90% when you're on level 2 doesn't mean that the supercharger is going to stop at that 90%. And this is something that I tried to tell people, but they said, no, it does. That's what happens when you get a call. It interrupts the video. So I tried to tell people, no, it doesn't. It will go past your set limit because this set limit that we set here is set up for level 2. It's not set up for your supercharger. Remember, the supercharger will charge you to get to whatever you need to get there with X number of percentage. So let's have a look at that while it's doing its thing. Currently, we're at 4% here. Like I said earlier, it'll probably be between 8 and 13% when it'll say it's got enough. So let's watch it here. We're down to the last minute here. 1 minute to go. We're at 21 kilowatts. And I want to show this again to the people that seem to think that when you set your limit here, that the supercharging does not go past that. That is absolutely incorrect. The supercharging...
Now turn right onto Brookview Centerway.
Well, there you go. We now have enough, 97%. That's 7% more than the set limit of 90%. The supercharger software will charge the car to whatever percentage to get me there. So let's have a look here. Let me get rid of that. And we're going to see what our arrival percentage is, okay? So, like I predicted, it is 12% upon arrival. Typically, it's between 8 and 13%. So the system didn't fail me. We are good to go. 172 miles. Here on the meter, and I will show you that 274 miles of range it predicted here. And you say, well, gee whiz, that's 100 miles more. Well, we're going to probably gobble most of that up. I think the wind is up and it's very cold, so it's predicting that I'll be using a lot of heat. I'd like to do a shout out to Mike with a 2021 Model 3. He is on his way to Bristol. We had a great conversation here. All right, we're charged. Let's unplug and get out of here. One last thing before we roll down the road. You see this 12% here in Nashville. What we're going to see, though, is once we get down the road and the battery warms up, that percentage is going to increase. And my prediction will be somewhere between 70 and 20% upon arrival in Nashville. Westbound here on Interstate 40. As predicted, now that we are westbound here on Interstate 40, as you can see, it jumped from 17 to 20%. This is typical. Once the battery warms up, we drive a higher rate of speed. The battery will give up more of its stored energy. So there you are. We're at 20%, now 19%. But I suspect it'll probably go maybe just a little more than that. I just stopped for a bio break here in Cookeville, Tennessee. Navigation's predicting 15% upon arrival. That's about right. Got, I don't know, what does it say? 72 miles to the supercharger. Let's have a look around here. Just this side of Hickman, Tennessee, we're stopped here on the interstate. Apparently they have some kind of construction, but it's all right. We're on autopilot. And as you can see, It steers, it follows, and it drives stop and go traffic with ease. It's really great. We're 40 miles out from the supercharger here. Little update on our energy. It's showing 16% upon arrival, which is just fine. Just off the interstate here at Briley Parkway. Had to go a little bit south on Interstate 24.
Turn right onto East Thompson Lane.
And shopping centers right here. Shopping centers here on my right. Looks like it's a Kroger.
500 feet.
There's
Turn right
a
onto
Model 3. No, maybe it was a Y, I think. Probably coming
now
from the
turn right onto
supercharger.
Willowbrook Drive.
And just like that, we're here. This is a version 3. I think it's a maybe 10 stall, maybe
Now your
12.
destination is on the right.
Yeah, get over there, lady. And we'll just plunk it in right here. We've arrived at 13%. We're on a version 3 here. And it's starting to ramp up here. Got a good view of my hand. Well, that's okay, life's tough. 130, 40, 50, 60, 70, 180, 190, 200, 205, 6, 7. Awesome. All right, it'll probably come up again a little bit here. Let's see, it says 25 minutes to continue our trip, which is probably about 80-some%. All right, well, I'm headed to the facilities, and I'll be back. I just got back from walking over to Kroger's, which is a giant grocery store chain. It's located about, 300 yards from here. Used the facility and I'm back, and I only got 14 minutes to go. We're currently at, 46% here. 14 minutes to go, and we have enough energy to continue our trip. Let's talk about the estimation here in the Tesla. The estimation, as you saw on this trip coming over 170 some miles, it predicted 15% once we got out on the highway, and we arrived with 15%. So you have to say that the prediction's pretty darn close. So I'm going to go with whatever the navigation says. The navigation predicts I can leave here now with 13 minutes. And that gets us enough energy for our next stop in Kuttawa, Kentucky. We're getting close now. Look at that, 72% and 75 kilowatts. It's pretty good. Battery's nice and warm. We drove the speed limit +5 the whole way, so everything is nice and toasty. All right, we're getting real close here now. As soon as we roll over, we'll be ready to roll. All right, looks like that's it. So let's have a look at something. Let's go to the nav here, and let's see our arrival percentage. Look at that, 23%. Wow. May have overcharged slightly, even though the nav said to charge that, but it is windy, so hopefully it'll be pretty close. Again, how that works is it guesstimates, and usually the battery's warm already. My guesstimate, it's going to be pretty close to this 23%, but I'm going to guess between about 25 and 28% arrival in Kuttawa. Yes, that's right. I got a Scottish lunch. It's lunchtime here. Yeah, we're in it now. Nashville traffic. Working our way on to Interstate 24 here to the west. There is downtown Nashville.
Now keep
road.
right to take exit 211.
Westbound Interstate 24 now, just leaving Nashville. Autopilot is awesome. I use it all the time. I'm using it now here on Interstate 24. Lots of trucks today. Let's have a look around. We've found traffic. Yes, we have here on Interstate 24. We're just about abreast to Hopkinsville, and we're in stop and go traffic. I'm not sure what it is. I checked on Google Maps. They said there was a crash, but I passed that. So something's happening. We're just poking along here. Oh, see what happens when you fall asleep? Your autopilot needs attention. Let's have a look around. We're about 30 minutes from Kuttawa, and it says 24% arrival. We're currently at 38% on the battery. Just off here in Kuttawa, or as Google
Now turn left onto US Highway 62 West.
or as Google calls it, Kuttawa, which I'm not sure if that's correct or not. This is the supercharger. I think it's 150 kilowatts. Yeah, a few cars here. And you don't want to double up, so let's see. We'll take the drive-in one. That will be, he is on, yeah, that's correct. We'll do this one, be right here. We've arrived at 21%. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, 150 kilowatt station, 144 kilowatts, not bad. Hey, what the heck is this? This looks like a gigantic wall connector. Charging gateway is what it says. It's kind of cool. Something new. I wonder if they're doing something weird with measuring more power or something like that. Anyway, it's got a glass front, just like the wall connector. It's probably been here a long time, but I don't remember seeing it. Anyway, there you go. It's right on the end of the stations to power the charge stands here. It so happens when I set up the nav, I sent it to just Mount Vernon, and not the supercharger. If you do something like that, it won't preheat the battery, because remember, rule number one when you arrive for the night, you make sure you charge your car. You charge it enough to get to the next charging stop, plus maybe 5%, something like that, maybe 10 overnight. And then in the morning, you jump in your car and head out. So let's look at the stats here now. And I apologize, we're looking right into the sun. 114 kilowatts, 15 minutes to go. We've got arrival here of, it looks like 10%, minus 10% that is. So we got a little charging to go, but once that becomes a positive number, we're good to go. Just into the state of Illinois. the cost of the fossil fuel here. Wow. Yep, we're in Illinois. Bet you can't tell how I know that. I wonder why. How in the heck do I know that I'm in Illinois? I don't know. If you ever wondered how they service superchargers, this is it. Those are modules. It's a, looks like it's an early Model X, probably 16, early 16, AP1. Great guy. He's in there working on the supercharger as we speak. I've arrived here in Mount Vernon. We're charging 144 kilowatts. Excellent. 34%, now 35%. So let me just tell you guys how I work here. Remember the number one rule when you travel. You must always charge your battery when you arrive for the night. If you let it go overnight and it gets cold and you get up in the morning and you want to charge and go, you can do that. It's just very slow to charge a very cold battery. So the conditions here tonight will be in the 30s. I'm up here in Mount Vernon, Illinois. So you don't want to let your battery get cold and try to charge it. So number one rule, when you arrive, and I'm here where I'm staying, I'm going to charge it to 90%. That will get me to where I need to go tomorrow, and I don't have to charge. I just load up the car, get in it, and off I go. As I continue to charge, I'm going to have a little Freddy's. I know it's not good for you, but you know, I'm on vacation, so I got a couple Chicago dogs, so that should be pretty good. We're relatively close to Chicago. If you like today's video, go ahead and click the like, click subscribe, as you know I'm growing my channel and I would certainly appreciate it. And if you would, I'd appreciate it if you pass my links on to your friends, as I know they would enjoy the content as well. Thanks for watching. I'll look for you in the morning, and take care.